Hello and welcome. Today is the 9th of August 2017. Welcome. My name is Derek, and in this video, I'm just going to quickly talk about why I like the buy order strategy. It's just the basic strategy that I play where I find areas where I like to buy. This case, 15,000. I put that number in the book that I wrote with about 100 other ones. And oftentimes, these are situations I'm so used to, where I buy somewhere near the bottom and it just goes right back up to where it came from. So I bought this, and about 4 minutes after I seen I bought it, I was no longer in possession of any because I sold. I mean, 15,000 buy, 17,200 I think was my sale. That's a gain of 2,200. That's well better than 10%, and I have no conviction for this up or down. And a lot of times I'm going to buy things that are both bullish and bearish, meaning that if it's going to go down, I at least think it's going to bounce to a key area. Well, it kind of did. Anyway, this video isn't about that. I will be writing a new book soon, which is what the essay I'm going to be writing tonight will be about, as it's a very amazing strategy that I have been working around with for nice profits. And for NLC2, it has worked like a charm. Let's put a chart up on the screen. It's not the greatest of ones, but it tells the picture. It's the Yobit chart, which spans the last 7 days. And when I first got into this code, it was the date July the 7th. Or July the 8th, rather. I think one of those days. And it was 1 in the morning. I was just looking at these codes on Yobit and just scrolling at the list, looking at names I've never heard of. If I see anything on the chart that I like, I might do a small speculation. This was one that I did, but I only put like a couple bucks worth, $3, $4 worth of Bitcoin on it. I mean, you just talk about just rolling the dice just because you can. That's what I was doing. Didn't know anything on it. But surprisingly and interestingly, about 18 hours later, I get a comment on one of my videos stating, as a special thank you, that I'll let you know about this code, which I already had a bet on. And I liked the technical form, so he said, yeah, that's going to do well. So I thought, heck, technically it looked good. Yeah, let's put a little bit more. And that was at around 1800 Satoshi at that time. The price would then drop later on in the middle of July, and I was able to buy in at around 1,200. And then on August the 1st, when the Bitcoin fork thing changed and I was just buying altcoins like crazy that day, I bought a bit more again. So I did nothing after that until, of course, the break. And well, things had a beautiful rise towards the upside, as price action breaking that key 2,000 mark, making it up to 10. And actually, on Nova Exchange, it had a price up to 20,000 earlier, many hours ago today. Very, very interesting. What else I notice about this chart? After its original selling, it's been making these higher lows, showing what's looking like is an ascending triangle. Overall, within this run, it has maintained it with a very beautiful sideways action. There has not been a lot of selling that has transpired after there's been large gains, and everyone who's like myself who bought cheap, they're not getting out. And I don't blame them. And because this is actually money, tokens being used, currency being used at a daily fantasy sports site where people will risk NLC2 to win more of them, that means to fund their balance, they need to have them. That means they need to buy them. They can, yes, buy them directly. They can buy them with Bitcoin, Ethers, Litecoin, whatever. But either way, that means they're going to need to be bought. The Thursday after Labor Day, every single year, is the start of the National Football League season. And you can say all you want about football, which is being called such in South America and Europe. We call it soccer in North America. it has nothing compared to American football in the aspect of daily fantasy. Baseball, I mean, it's not that popular compared to it as well. And NHL hockey, yeah, that's nothing as well. NBA is it's decent, but really it's all about football. So therefore, it seems to me if this thing is going to be a good platform, this has potential to have some serious increases as it moves forward. And when you look at timing, follow the money, people buying into this very low rate, which is good for the industry. It's almost like buying a stock in a company. If the company does well, it's going to kick ass. But when the season comes to an end, regular season ends right around the new year. Playoffs, and at least daily fantasy playoffs, will end a few weeks after that. The NBA season will roll around, but that makes me wonder as we head into December and January if there might be some decent declines, and maybe even another one when the NBA season ends in May, June. And then a year from now, in August, this thing will go back up again. Now, that's long term based on, like I state, follow the money. If people are withdrawing funds in January and such, that means they're now selling the NLC2 rather than buying them. And the price could go down in a situation like that. Now, I've implemented a nice little fun strategy. I'm going to be writing about this tonight. I'm going to write an essay tonight, as it has done better than I have thought. I've been using this strategy a little bit over the last few weeks. It's done very well for me when trading that of XBY, but it done phenomenal for me with NLC2. And I'm going to show you the net results for such. And what I have done is I've made it so that my tokens, my amount of NLC2 that I own, is 20% larger than it was when I, bought on August the 1st for the last time. My portfolio is a little bit higher. But the impressive part is my profits on trade is 3 times guaranteed. Or another way of stating it, if you take my net Bitcoin received on sales and subtract it from net Bitcoins purchased on buys, that number is 3 times larger than my overall net Bitcoin purchase to enter the position. So I've essentially profited out of it with a little bit higher of a position. The only thing that I might regret a little bit is why my token size is only 20% larger and my profits is that large. And I can fix that a little bit just by buying a bit more, and I'll even talk about that in my essay tonight. But basically, because I can buy at 56.52 and sell at 74.28, that's an amazing return on the average. Just to get one position on that, I'm enthusiastic. To turn 56, something from 56 into 74, that's amazing in itself. But to average that very well, that's impressive. Now, my average volume since break at 6.5, and maybe I should just say 13 times total because there's only been 2 days since this thing has broke out. But I have actually had 13 times the amount of tokens traded since this has all begun than I had. So I'm able to sell multiple times a day. So flipping it over and over and over throughout the day and throughout different key times. I'm going to write about that as well. But it's enabled me to have already decent gains without having to even exit my position. So yeah, I'm going to try to get this out in the next couple of weeks, but at least a week and a half for sure. I want to get about 3-4 nice little subjects. A lot of it's based on buying low, selling high, trying to get mechanisms that can help the profit, which is basically what we're all after here. So thank you for tuning in and have yourself a magnificent evening. Bye-bye.